All right, everyone, welcome back to the show. Today's episode is a little more personal. We're talking about loss, not just the kind that only comes from death, but the kind that reshapes our world. Today, I am going to be opening up about losing my dad. And we are your hosts. I'm Vanessa Curry and the lovely...
I'm Kayla Becker. And yeah, we're talking about loss, but not only just through death. I'm going to talk about what it felt like to suddenly lose my mom, again, not to death, but to the prison system. So,
And this isn't just a sad girl episode. It's about grief, growth, and everything no one really teaches us about letting go.
So hopefully something that we talk about today resonates with you in some way, because I think no matter what the kind of loss, everybody knows what that feels like. So the way we're going to do this episode is I'm going to start out and kind of interviewing Vanessa here and letting her share her story. And then she's going to do the same for me after that. So bear with us. Again, this could be a little hard stuff to talk about, but one of the first times that you and I got together in your kitchen, you and I really opened up about these parts of our lives. And I think that was one of those defining moments of like our friendship, and just when you meet people who understand like the gravity of those emotions and feelings and experiences, like it means a lot and goes a long way. So
yeah.
I appreciate you opening up on the show.
Same, you too. I'm proud of us because like you said, this was one of the first conversations we kind of had as a friendship. I think that was had a lot of depth to it. And it's taken us 14 episodes to let you guys in on it, because it is vulnerable and it's deep and it could be dark, but also I think the good thing is that both of us have been able to navigate the experiences that we've been through. So yeah.
All right, you ready?
All right. I'm nervous.
I know. I'm like, I just got hot.
Me too. I should not have put a sweater. I was like, maybe this will be like my comfort sweater, but now I'm sweating.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and get things off, kick things off. So, the loss of your dad. Can you take us back to the day or the moment that it hit you that, your dad was gone, not just physically and emotionally, but permanently he was gone?
Yeah. So my dad passed away in 2009. It was super sudden. It was a ruptured aorta. So it's kind of as if the doctors told us the London Bridge collapsing and there's no real way to fix that right away. So it was a very, very sudden loss. I happened to be in New York at the time. I was like living my dream life at the time. I was dancing for Leighton Meester, a good friend of mine, a dear, dear friend, and she was doing pop music. And so I was not even in Los Angeles at the time. I was in New York when it happened. So it definitely didn't feel real then even. I couldn't really process. I think I just had emotions and then you just kind of feel empty. And not until I got home, which was, I think, maybe 2 days after, I was able to hop on a flight and go home, and walking into the house and just not having him there, because he was retired. So he was always home, you could already feel there was just a cold breeze that was going in there, and it was very weird. And my mom is how she process things is she needs to get rid of everything right away. So she already had gone through even like the next day, like the closet to just kind of clear stuff out. Cause for her, that's I think part of her healing process. So just going into their bedroom and seeing the closet kind of half empty was weird.
Yeah.
Just strange.
What was he? I'm so sad I was never able to meet the man who had a hand in raising you, because you've turned out so incredible. I know.
Thank you.
He's so proud of you. But what was he like growing up?
He was so quiet, which is funny because my mom jokes about my boyfriend now. Like he's just like very quiet and I am the loud one, obviously. So it's funny because my boyfriend now does sort of resemble my dad in some ways. There's like an interesting parallel there. But he was so kind and very reserved, very easygoing. he never really raised his voice unless he was watching ESPN or Bill O'Reilly, because like that's what he watched on television. He's like screaming at the news or like screaming at sports or something. But other than that, he was always the guy that was just like sitting at the table with his screwdriver in hand and just absorbing or I'm sorry, not absorbing, analyzing just what's going on in the room. Where it's funny because some people would always ask him, "Are you having a good time? Like, is he okay?" And he'd always be like, "Yeah, no, I'm just here, like listen to the conversation." So yeah, so he was just like fun too. You know, he did sports with us. He took us bike riding. He was a provider. He was just a really kind and great person.
Well, a lot of the traits you just mentioned are opposite of you. Like you said, quiet versus loud. What do you think you did take any part of him, like in your personality or even?
Yeah, I think I definitely took his kindness and always wanting to help. You know, he adopted three of my cousins actually on my mom's side total, you know, and those were not his kids. They were not his bloodline, but they knew that this is what needed to be done in order to make sure that these kids have a good life. And that to me is very difficult and very hard. And I think I took that from him. Also, he would never yell at me. He would always sit me down and say, "What's going on? Let's talk about this." And I think I got that from him, being able to communicate because he really was so quiet. But in those moments, my mom would kind of give me silent treatment and I would have to come to her and, you know, be like, "Hey, I'm sorry, like, let's talk." But my dad would come to me.
Oh, that's great.
So I think that's where I do get, I try to see things from all different sides and try to have a conversation with somebody. And, yeah,
It's
so
a great
I
trait to
hope
have
that's what I took from
inherited.
him. I hope people feel that way about
You
me
are
because
that way,
I
very
do try
much.
to be that person.
Yeah.
So I think that's what he gave me. And his love for Halloween, because he was obsessed with Halloween. That was his favorite holiday. He would always dress up and he was just like, he'd be so happy in his costume.
Oh my
So
gosh, we would have loved each other.
that part too.
We would have
Yes.
loved each other.
Yes.
Oh, well, you know, grief is it's a funny thing and everyone grieves differently. And then people on the other side of grief who are trying to comfort those grieving, sometimes they don't know what to do. And sometimes they do things that can make it worse, make it better. Well, you know, what are some, you know, things that you wish people had done or not done while you were dealing with the loss of your dad?
I think I had such a great troop around me and my family that I don't really think anybody did anything that I was upset about. I will say this, I going to the funeral because I was coming from New York, I did not have really like things to wear for a funeral. I just kind of like grabbed what I had with me at the time. And like I'm not gonna go shopping for the funeral. You know what I mean? There's way more important things to deal with. So I had a little black dress. I put like black tights within. I remember I had these like pink and black, you know, little heel like Mary Jane shoes. And one of my sister's friends said something about my outfit and I almost lost it on her.
Like said something negative?
Like something negative. I don't necessarily remember what it was, but she said something about my outfit and I wanted to be like, "Bitch, are you seriously talking to me about
Ew.
my outfit right now?" And I'll never
This
forget
was at
that.
the funeral?
This was at the
She would
funeral.
have been quickly excused from the funeral.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I again, I removed myself from that situation. I did not say anything to her. I just kind of looked at her and I remember.
What kind of
Yeah. So that never talk about someone's outfit at a funeral.
That's
okay?
the last thing we're talking about.
like-
Unless it's just like you look beautiful. You
Right.
know?
Right. No, it was not that. I remember.
I'm sorry.
But
Jeez.
thank you. But I will say one of the things my best friend was sleeping with me for a couple days. Like afterwards, she stayed with me and like slept with me at my room. And I remember this was maybe a week or two after the fact. She had told me that my dad came into the dream of her dream when she was asleep that night of the funeral.
Oh, wow.
And to tell me that he was okay. And she was so scared to tell me because she didn't want to like hurt my feelings. She didn't know if I was there yet to be able to process that information. And so for her, she kept that from me for, a little while. And I wish she would have just told me. But
Mm.
it's not, that's nothing against
Of
her. She
course.
was trying to protect me and she didn't want to hurt my
Mhm.
feelings. And again, like trigger anything
Mhm.
because I was very, very, I was 19 at the time. I was like very young. So yeah. So I don't think like anybody did anything wrong necessarily. And again, people go through grief differently. So
Mhm.
I don't think there's a right way
Mhm.
to tell somebody, I'm sorry for your
Of
loss.
course, yeah.
Um, but yeah, like there are things I feel like that people can say that should never be said in a time of grief.
Like commenting on someone's outfit. That's still wild to me.
Yes,
So you have your sister and you guys are close. And
very.
like I said, you were young. What's your sister, your all's age difference? Is she
9 years.
okay? So she was quite a bit older than you were when it all
Yes.
happened. But at the same time, like being a woman, young woman, or a little bit older, losing a father, that just really like affects you, will throw your entire life for a loop because having a father is so important
Hmm.
as a woman. Like what even like imagining like your wedding day and stuff like that. Like how is that kind of, how have you processed realizing that he won't be there for some of these huge moments in your life?
Yeah, no, that has been the hardest part. I remember the first thing my sister said to me was, damn, he's not going to be here for my wedding.
Mm.
Just going through that process and realizing this person is physically never going to be able to touch you ever again, to
Mhm.
hold your hand, to give you a pat on the back, to give you a hug, to give you a kiss on the cheek, you know, um, and that's been really hard. It's still till this day, it's hard for me to go to a wedding and see a father-daughter dance, see the bride get to walk down the aisle with her dad. It's always going to be
Mm.
hard. Obviously, I still love watching it and it makes me so happy to that they get to experience that. But yeah, I think it is something where I decided that like maybe a wedding wasn't really that big of a deal to me because
Mhm.
he wasn't going to be there, which I know that's not the healthiest way to feel that way, but that's just the
No,
truth.
of course.
Not to say that I don't will never get married. Like I would, but I do remember I had a very like stale taste in my mouth about that specific
Mm.
topic, or just like, what if I get pregnant one day? He will never be there to be able to like hold my baby or just play with them or
Mhm.
have go bike riding or dress them up for Halloween,
Yeah.
things like that. So, um, yeah, it does change your perspective on certain big life
Mhm.
events.
When do you think, like, how long, I guess, did it take after he passed where you felt like you can kind of catch your breath? Or I imagine the first part of it, you probably were grieving, crying every day. How long did it take for you to be like, okay?
You know, I don't think that ever goes away.
Hmm.
It just spreads out.
Yeah.
So, obviously the first I'd say year is I mean, little things can trigger anything, right? But um I do think now it's a little bit more space when I have those moments, but I still have those moments.
Hmm.
For his birthday is September 13th, but he passed September 11th.
Oh, wow.
So just having those big moments so close together, I think has always been really hard. It's like we're celebrating his death and then we're also trying to celebrate,
Hmm.
his life. And it's a tricky situation because you
Yeah.
have so many
How do y'all
emotions.
how do y'all handle that?
We I always have a screwdriver of
I
vodka orange juice for
love
him.
that he was a screwdriver man.
Yes, he was a screwdriver man. So I always have a screwdriver for him. And I either have, my best friends come with me, or there's been a couple years where I went home and so I was with my family and we would have like dinner together and just
Mhm.
celebrate him, sing him happy birthday. Um, But yeah, I think also just allowing myself to cry
Mhm.
because it is sad, It's like I lost him at such a pivotal life in my a pivotal moment
Mhm.
in my life that I could have used him. I don't think I would have been in certain relationships for that long if he
Mm.
was around. And I can't not blaming him, okay, Dad, but like, you know,
But going to your dad when a man's treating you poorly, he would have been that
yes,
voice of reason like a father would. And
yes,
so I can
which is
imagine.
crazy because like my dad treated my mom like a freaking queen. Like he made her oatmeal in the morning and a piece of toast and would bring it to bed. Like, or not, I'm sorry, the oatmeal would be on the counter with the piece of bread in a little like, you know, plastic bag. And then he'd bring her coffee to her every single morning. And, you know, just he cooked for us. He did the dishes, you know, like he was just, he always wanted to make things easier for her. So it is sad when I think back and I'm like, wow, these men were making things so much harder for me. And I almost forgot that, oh, wait, no, this is not what I was raised with. Like I didn't even have an example. I'm like starting this example, my own trauma now. And it has nothing to do with like even where I came from because like my parents were super easygoing. They never really fought. They never really like yelled at each other. Yeah, so it's just like it's one of those things. He probably would have definitely like set his foot down and talked to me and said, "Hey, look, what's going on?"
Yeah.
You know, like, and I just didn't have that. So that's something that like I do struggle with a lot, thinking about the past.
Well, and you know, for who's watching you make all of these choices, and I don't think any would be considered mistakes, but like you know, just learning and lessons. And
Mm-hmm.
for he's seeing you now with, I mean, from what I know about your current boyfriend, he seems to be more on par with someone your dad would probably approve of. How do you think they would get along? I mean,
Oh
clearly
my
because
gosh.
your boyfriend is so quiet. If your dad's quiet, I imagine them sitting there watching ESPN, just like, huh?
Yeah.
Just see that?
No,
Yep.
but see, them watching ESPN
Then
together,
they'd get
they would
rowdy.
get like probably riled up and they'd be like yelling and just clapping. And I know Ozzy would take him to, you know, the Niner game and put him on the field. And my dad would probably just be like elated just to like, or elated.
I wasn't good with it.
Yeah, she was gonna go with it, but I was like, that doesn't sound right. Elated, you know, it's like, and I feel like they would be able just to chill with each other though too, and have a beer. You know what I mean? So, it sucks. I wish that he could have met him. And it is something that Ozzy and I have in common because he lost his dad a few years ago too. So I never got to meet his father either. So it is something we both talk about and grieve together sometimes. And I think we both have an understanding that the waves come whenever they want. You know, it's just, I could be hiking and all of a sudden I'm crying because I miss him, but then I'm fine. I'll go get some coffee and I'm like, okay, cool. Thanks for letting me shed
Just to
those
feel for a
tears.
minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned some traits that you took from him earlier, like your kindness and your wanting to give and talk to people and have, you know, conversations. What are some other like parts of him that live on in you?
Probably his short temper.
Do you have a
And
short temper?
I don't with people, and he didn't with people, but he did with, say, technology.
Oh, okay.
Like my dad, when he retired, he loved to, which is like so illegal, but like he loved to burn DVDs.
Oh, I was a big DVD
So
burner.
he would go to Blockbuster, and if you don't know what Blockbuster is,
Then you're
Google
too young to
it.
be watching this podcast.
But he would go to Blockbuster, get every single movie that he loved or I loved, and he would burn it on a CD for me and then send it to LA. And because like that's what we watched.
I love that.
I had a whole deck of just like black DVDs, and my roommates and I, we made little name tags so we knew which DVD was which. But yeah, he would go and get like black cases and put them in for us. But he would get so frustrated sometimes if something didn't work and be like, oh shit, like, you know, like, nah. And I do that too. Like I get frustrated if something's not working right or my liner isn't like matching. I'm like, what the? I just want to like throw the pen at, and I'm like, breathe.
You're like, Dad?
Yeah. So I definitely took his short temper when it came to if something's not like working out, but he didn't have a short temper around people, which is very interesting because I don't either, you know? So, yeah, his short temper. I'm sorry, Dad.
That's understandable though. Understandable. Listen, those burning discs could have been, I did that in college and it was always an issue.
Yeah.
If there was one thing that you could say to him, like right now, I'm sure you'd still talk to him, but there's something that you could say to him now, what would it be?
Oh man, there's so many things that rush to my mind. But I just would want to hear him say, I love you.
Mm.
And I'd want to say, I love you.
Aw.
And then I just would want to hear him be like, hey, babe. Cause like, that's how he talked. He always had this like Southern swing. He's from
Aw,
Louisiana, like
little
Baton
Southern
Rouge,
boy.
Louisiana, so he would always just be like, hey, babe, like, how's it going? And yeah, it's like, I wish I had this, voicemail that I wish I could have kept for so long because it has his voice on it. Um, but I still like I can replay it. um, but yeah, I just want to say I love you. That's all, just to hear
Aw, of
those words.
course.
But that's it. That's it. That's all I would love to hear. I was like,
Well, I'm sure he's
so
saying it to you every
yes,
day. I'm sure
and I
you
hear
it.
him. I have such a great relationship with him, his spirit. Anytime I see a white butterfly, I think of him, and I know it's him. I was hiking the first weekend I got back from his funeral, and my friend and I were hiking, and this white butterfly was just following us on Runyon the whole time. When we got to the very top, it's like the butterfly landed on my shoe. Like, what butterflies do that? Like, butterflies don't do
No,
that.
they don't. I'm like, you're normally chasing them to like.
Yeah, exactly. So, anytime I see nature, and I think that's why I love being in nature so much, because I
Reminds
feel
you,
him
yeah.
so deeply, and yeah, so
Love
they're
it.
always with us.
They are.
And that is one thing I always want to tell people about grief. It's like, let it out, cry it out. It's okay. And when you're ready for them to come in and show themselves to you, oh man, it's such a beautiful experience, and it's so lovely, and it's so nice. And of course it's kind of scary because we're like, wait, but they're gone. Well, they're not gone. They're just in a different realm, it's just a couple layers between us and them. So yeah, like, once you're ready, if you've gone through a loss like this, ask them to come in, because they will. They're waiting, but they won't. I don't think spirit guides will come in unless you give them the green light.
They won't push their way in.
They don't want to scare us. They're when you're ready, they're ready, and I promise that. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thanks for. Woo,
let me fix my makeup real quick.
Yeah, I'm like, I haven't. I didn't
me all
know.
emotional.
I talk about him all the time and never cry. I don't know. Maybe it's just
maybe he's listening right now.
Yeah, he's listening, and he's like, okay, no. But there's losses that don't involve death.
Yes.
But still feel like grieving. And how about let's talk about what it felt like when you lost your mom because she went to prison. I know that must have been a huge, crazy moment in your life. I mean, how old were you, and what did you feel in that moment? Did you even know what was going on in that moment?
Yeah, so I was like 9. So the years leading up to that, there was a lot of like issues in my life. I lived with my biological mom and my 3 siblings. There was simply always a different man in and out of the house because she was a serial dater. I think she was just trying to find a man to help provide because she couldn't provide for all of us by herself. So
Right.
I can understand. And funny enough, when she had me, she had to go. She was in and out of jail then too. So she literally gave birth to me and then had to hand me off to a friend to take care of me until she got out of prison then. So it's kind of always kind of been like that. But then she stayed out of jail pretty much until I was 9 years old. And then and I knew things were rough, but I thought, we're a family. We're always going to make it and get, stay together. Never in my wildest dreams did I assume that we'd all be separated. And there was one day I was playing Nintendo 64 with my little sister for 2 years apart. We were just in our bedroom playing, and my mom comes and like just leans on the doorway and just is looking at us, like this weird look on her face. And she just stood there for a while. And I was like, Mom, what's going on? And she just looks like right there. She goes, y'all can't live with me anymore. And I was like, okay, Mom, like back to playing video games. She's like, no, I'm serious. Like, you can't live with me anymore. And I was like, at that age, I'm like, what is she talking? Like, what? And then that's when I soon found out. We actually went to the living room and she popped in this VCR or this tape in the VCR. And it was like, this is where you're going to live now. And it looked like a summer camp. I'm like, so I
Mm-hmm.
thought she was just telling us we're going to go to summer camp for a few weeks. I wasn't even thinking like the
You had
foster home.
no
I had no
idea.
idea what was happening. And then, yeah, literally like, I don't know how much longer it was after that. I think that's when I went on my first airplane. We flew to Atlanta, Georgia. Me, my little sister, and my mom. My two other siblings were older, so they were already aged out of
Mm-hmm.
foster care. And I still at this point, flying to Atlanta, I still wasn't completely sure what was happening. I didn't have a lot of belongings. I feel like I had trash bags full of stuff that I had like taken with
Wow.
me. And we get to my grandmother's house who lives in Atlanta, and then the next day we drive to this big building, and it was like the biggest building I'd ever seen, and it was the Chick-fil-A headquarters, funny enough. And I guess I had like this long lost step aunt who worked for the founder of Chick-fil-A, Truett Cathy, at the time. And Truett Cathy, for those who don't know, has like 12 foster homes in the southeast of America where he like hires parents to be parents and then places children who need homes. So anyway, met these strange people, still wasn't registering me what was about to happen. I'm like, we're
Mm-hmm.
just meeting these people, whatever. And then the time came for us to load up in the car with these strangers. I didn't know their names. And I'm like, and my mom is just crying. And I'm like, what's going on, Mom? Like, what's happening? I just remember I was holding on to her. She goes, you
Yeah.
have to go with them. You can't come back with me. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, we're going back home. Like, what are you talking about? She's like, no, you have to go with them. And I remember, I think they were like peeling me and Erica like off, like just crying because like we don't know what's happening. Like, what?
Right. It's
This is the only
confusing.
person, our only parent. And then we get put into this van, and it was like, literally, I can still see it to this day, with like the van and everything. And like we're like screaming, crying, and like our hands are on the windows, like screaming for our mom. And as we just see her like get smaller and smaller in distance, and none of us we still didn't know why.
Yeah.
And so the only thing we thought at the time was like, are we never going to see our mom again? And what did we do wrong? Because we just weren't given any explanation. And so it was literally that quick to where we were moved into this new home. Yeah, I had trash bags of like belongings, and then it was never told really what was going on or when I think I just assumed, oh, Mom's going to come pick me up in a few days.
Of course.
Just kept telling myself that every day. And then the day I realized I wasn't going to see her again was my foster parents had pulled me and my little sister into their room and like, hey, we have a letter for you. And I'm like, oh my God, Mom wrote us. Like, she wrote us. I was like, why is she writing us and not calling us? But okay. And so like we read the letter, and I don't remember what it said, but I was like, okay, well, she's going to come back and get us. And my foster parents, they started crying. They're like, you got to turn the envelope over. And I was like, what? So we turned the envelope over, and there's a big prison stamp, because that's what prisons do when they send out mail. And that's when they
Wow.
explained to us, your mom has gone away for a long time. You're not going to get to see her anymore. And at that moment, I was like, it felt like my heart was ripped out. Like, what? Like, how does a little 9-year-old process this? Like,
And
I'm
9
never
years
going to see
old.
I never thought I was saying goodbye to her. And now I'm like, I don't know how I'm saying goodbye to her. So yeah, that was, that was rough.
Well, I'm sorry that you had to go through that. That is never something a 9-year-old should go through.
No.
How old was your sister?
She was 6, so I'm
Okay,
trying
so
to be like,
you're trying to be the
yeah.
older sister.
'cause I always was like, even like growing up with my real mom, like she was never there 'cause she was working so much or doing whatever. So I was kind of helping raise my little sister when I was little.
Mhm.
Like I would walk. We had to walk to school every day a mile each way. So I would walk her, get her up, get her dressed, walk her a mile. The teachers knew that my mom was absent, so her teachers would come up to me to tell me her homework assignments when I was 8, 9 years old. I would cook her breakfast. Like she was like, I took care of her. And
You
so
became a mom.
I became a mom at 9. And so me trying to explain to her now, like, she's not coming back. That was even worse. Cause I could like handle myself. Like I felt so grown
Right.
up, but like seeing her. Yeah.
How do you think the absence of your mom affected you emotionally, like physically, or even in weird ways that you didn't
Yeah.
expect?
I mean, I feel like I still deal with issues. Like I still deal with
Mhm.
like, the feeling of like rejection, or 'cause I think you never stop feeling like, even though I know in my heart, like it wasn't because she didn't want me.
Right.
That feeling still never goes away,
Mhm.
because I don't know how to get it go. It's
It
true. Like
just
when your
doesn't.
parent doesn't keep you anymore for whatever reason, it just, you feel like this overwhelming sense of just rejection. And then even when she got out of prison, like 3, 4, 5 years later, we still couldn't go back. Like it was like I still never got my mom again. And then like the kids in school would like bully me. And there was this one girl, I'll never forget her. She was such a bitch. I hope the worst things have happened to her since then.
Diarrhea forever.
She came up to me. I was new and scared, and like she came to me and goes, "Hey, new girl, when's the last time you seen your mama, you orphan?" my first thought was like, you're a fucking idiot. Orphans mean my parents are dead. She's not dead. Like, I think,
Of
I think I said
course.
something like that.
Of course, Kayla came
like,
back with a
learn
quick
your vocabulary
response.
words. Get a dictionary, you stupid idiot. But it really freaking it hurt me. And then just going through like normal things that girls go through, like being on your period for the first time. And like your mom's supposed to be there for that to help you how to navigate that, or like liking boys and like, you know, weird things that would happen in the foster home that like no one would understand but my mom. And even like I was the only a kid of color. So my mom had 3 white kids and then me, a mix with black. And then I moved to a foster family where everyone was white. So no one knew how to do my hair, but my mom had like learned over the years how to kind of manage my hair. So then I'm in this new foster home where like this poor new white lady has no idea what to do with my hair. I'm going to school looking crazy every day and I'm getting bullied and I'm crying and just like, I just felt so like helpless because I didn't have my mom there anymore just to like hold my hand and help me through those things.
Oh, okay. So did you ever let yourself grieve that, or were you not allowed to? Because I know, you know, you're in a foster home now with other foster kids, right? It wasn't just you and your sister.
There was like another like 8 kids there, so it was a bunch of us. I don't think, you know, it's funny, you just get thrown into it so quickly, and it's like I would definitely cry myself to sleep. And me and Erica shared a room, so we'd like cry together. But it's like one of those like unspoken things to this day that like the foster kids don't really do. It's like you get ripped away from your family, and then you just, I think that's why I'm so good now at just adjusting and like being a chameleon and getting up and just moving, because it was like pretty soon my foster parents were like, okay, y'all should call us mom and dad because we need everyone in the family to be calling us mom and dad to have like a unit, you know? And I'm
And
like,
how did that make you feel?
how are you? Like, what?
Did
Like, okay.
did you call them mom
Eventually I did. I think I called because dad was weird for me because I've never had a dad.
and
I've never called anybody dad in my life. And I was deathly afraid of men up to that point because before that I was like, you know, I had every man that came in my life was abusive. So, and he's my foster dad. He's an amazing man. We get along great. We have a great relationship. But he's like a 6'4", massive, like just he is a big, scary man,
especially
loud
to a
voice
9-year-old.
to a 9-year-old. So like it took me a little bit longer to like call him dad, and they were patient. It wasn't like call me mom and dad right now. They're just like, hey, we'd like for you to maybe call us that. And then my foster mom, I was way more resistant to her. Like I remember one time I said some mean like stuff to her, like. I was so against somebody else trying to be my mom. So I'm like, my mom is coming back.
Right.
I don't need a new mom. And I remember looking at her one time, like, you're only pretending to love me because they're paying you to. Like I was just like so against.
Yeah, you're angry.
Yeah.
And your mom, like we said, was not dead.
Yeah.
She didn't pass away. She was still alive.
Yeah.
You knew she was on this earth, and you're like, I cannot wrap my head around why I'm not with her.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what helped you get through that time period, even if it was like messy or imperfect? Like, how did you survive kind of having to sort of be okay with that being the outcome?
I think when I had to actually realize that she was never coming back. I mean, it's probably like after she got out of prison, because the first time I actually got to see her. So she got out of prison and we got to meet her in a public park. And we were like walking, and she was about to tell me this, like, I won't get too deep into it, but like, that's actually when I saw like I remember seeing a bloody tampon like in this park. And I was like, instead of being grossed out, I got sad because I was like, I had my period. I just started my period and she wasn't there for that. It was like one of those moments. But it was this big moment. She was going to finally share with me like who my biological father was. And I can go into that a different episode. But, and then we're sitting there and I'm like, hoping she's going to say, well, you can come back. I can come back. And it was like, no, like I'm going to be finishing out my childhood with this other family. She can't take us back. And so I think once I accepted that, because I think I always knew that was going to be the case. I held on to this little hope. Once I accepted it, I think I was fully able to let myself be a part of this other family. And they were amazing. And they like loved me and took care of us. And yes, there's flaws in every family, but
of course.
I don't think there could have been a better turnout for a family for me to get placed in this situation. And I think I finally just let myself be one of them, and then immerse myself more in like school and projects and hobbies. And, you know, I think that just kind of.
Did you feel like a part of you, like emotionally, have you ever felt like a part of you froze emotionally back then and you just kind of put walls up?
I mean, yeah. I mean, look at me now. Like even going through this breakup and being such a dismissive avoidant and not being able to really open up. It's because I think I always that time in my life where I loved so hard, and for it just to be ripped away from me and then told, okay, now you have to adjust and reset and again be a chameleon. And then even in those foster care situations where I was the only black kid and then going to all white school and constantly having to like not be and then not black enough, not white. Like I think between that and foster care, I think I froze into this constant area of like defense
Mhm.
and not letting myself feel or love too hard because it never worked out back then and it always hurt.
Mhm.
And so that's something I'm working on in therapy for sure. It's because I can sense that in my adult life now. And I almost feel sometimes like stunted. I'm like, I'm 34 years old. There shouldn't be a reason why I have so much trouble with like love and letting people in at my age. But I think it's because I'm still like that little girl. Like
Of
I'm very
course.
stunted in that way.
We're always gonna have them right here. Like,
Yeah.
living to we're always living for that little girl or that
Hmm.
little boy that's inside of us. You know what I mean? It's
Hmm.
like, um, but you going to therapy, I mean, I feel like you are having breakthroughs, and I'm so proud of you for being able to like open up, because I know that therapy was like a huge like
Yeah.
no at
Big no
first.
no.
Um, Going to therapy though, do you now feel like you're able to kind of process like closure with this situation, or do you still feel like it's that version is still stuck at a loss?
I mean, yeah, I think one of the first things of being able to, or first steps to being able to have closure is just accepting that there's something that needs to be closed.
Mhm.
And I think that's what I'm just like, or like, I think for so long I've just thought that I was broken or like there was something broken inside of me, there's something was wrong with me. And it's like, no, like you have quite a few reasons to be feeling this way, but we can make you not feel that way or figure out like,
Right.
so yeah, I think therapy in that way has made me realize like it wasn't my fault. It's not my
Absolutely
fault that I'm
not.
like this. Um, and that's just I think that's been the biggest help.
Yeah. And to know that now you are a 34-year-old woman and you can go through therapy so that whenever you possibly, have a child or
Mhm.
some one day, you're taking care of your generational trauma before you can move on into a
Mhm.
different um, part of your life,
Mhm.
right? It's like it is a crazy thing to think about.
It is.
Everything that happens as a kid,
Is
it
the
really
yeah,
does stick with
it
you.
does. I know, and that's just what's crazy. Just to wrap your head around. Like we were all just kid like it's funny when you look at like a little kid and adult and it's like that adult was that little it's just we were almost like
Like I look at my even our parents, right? It's like they were little kids and then now they're adults and then now they're like older,
mhm.
and it's almost like we all get to a certain point where we go back and we're like kids again when we're
Mhm.
older. I don't know. It's like
I
it's such
know.
a
I know it
interesting
is the way the life kind of
it's
works.
such an interesting, it's like I heard like a little saying that was like, oh, we start in diapers and we end in diapers.
Yeah, but
And
it's
it's
true. So we
crazy
got
to
to make
think
the best
about.
out of this time in between.
Yeah. And
Be nice
so
to ourselves.
exactly. Exactly.
So obviously you
Absolutely.
talked about you know, the actual death of your father and the actual or the not actual death, but the feeling of death and losing my mom to prison. There's a lot of other non-death experiences that force us to grieve, and we've
Mhm.
even in the last episode we talked about a death experience like with Ozzy Osbourne dying, a musician
Mhm.
that we don't know personally, but it still feels like something that you grieve and it is experience. But other like losing a childhood home could be something that people deal with. I dealt with that a lot of times growing up.
How many homes were you in, or was it just
One
one?
foster home, but I was in and growing up with my mom, we were homeless a lot. So we'd be sleeping on people's couches. We'd get a house to rent, but then we'd be kicked out because she wasn't paying rent. I've seen cars repoed. Like there was no
And do you
consistency.
remember that? Like, do you remember those moments?
Oh
I know
yeah.
you were super young, but I just wondering how impressionable that was for you.
Oh, I
Like you were
remember
5,
so
6,
much.
7,
Probably
going
like
through these
after
things.
five, probably like my earliest memory is probably like around like 5 or 6.
Mm.
And a lot of times that's when my mom had boyfriends because it was like, okay, they have a house, we need somewhere to stay. But there were a lot of times me and Erica were sharing a mattress on the floor in one of the rooms or like with their kids and then sleeping on couches or air mattresses. And I mean, I was in a different school every year until the foster home because it
Wow.
was constant. So, but one of the craziest moments, I'll never forget my mom getting her car repoed though, because we slept in that car and that was just
That was your home.
That was the only way she could go to work and like
Mhm.
pay for us. And I remember they came and repoed it. The tow truck was in the driveway, and she was like screaming. I've never seen my mom scream and cry so much. And I'm sitting there like helpless, not knowing what to do, but just knew that this was a really bad situation.
Right.
But yeah, like that is a huge loss of like just security.
Absolutely.
But yeah, lots of different, like, people losing relationships, losing your sense of identity or security, which we've talked about.
Cutting ties.
Yeah, with people, friends,
I
family.
mean, I have the two cousins that, my parents adopted. We do not have contact with them at all. It is a very crazy thing. And I think it has shaped me to be able to let go of people, because I had to let go of two people that I really
Your
did think were
family.
my brothers, like they moved in when I was 5 or 6 years old. So I grew up with them, and we have zero communication. And it was really sad for a long time, but then you realize, people grow and change, and it doesn't matter if you're blood related or not.
Yeah.
It can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
In any situation,
Yeah.
But yeah, that has been a loss where I felt angry about it. And I think I felt more anger for my mom, because she did all this because she loved her nephews, and she loved her brother, my uncle. And I can't imagine how she must have felt when like realizing, oh, we're not having communication anymore, and you have to cut it off. There's only so many times you could reach out to somebody and get that shut down until you just don't do it anymore. So yeah, lots of things. I mean, death of past versions of yourself, right?
Yeah,
It's
we've
like
talked about that too.
we've lived so many different lives, and you grieve it,
Well, that's what that's my therapist told me with our first session. He's like, you're grieving with me going through this transition in my career. My career has been, I think it's also, I've been so like big on my career, because that was when I think I was 10 when I realized what I wanted to be when I grew up. And I've been working at it since I talked to my foster mom recently, and she goes, that's why you're having a hard time. We watched you work at this since you were 10. I was doing like little shows on camera with my friends, and I was doing the public speaking competitions. And I said, one day I used to watch talk shows. One day I'm gonna be the next Oprah Winfrey. And then literally my life stayed on track all the way up until last year when I decided to quit my TV job. And that's why I'm having such a hard time.
Right.
I'm grieving the loss of that person.
Yes.
And it's just crazy how like death can just come in all different forms.
All different forms. And along with death is always going to come grief.
Yes.
And you have to release it. You have to take those moments and cry. And like we said, punch a pillow, scream in the pillow.
The fact I just like cried on the show.
I know.
I think it's like
can we just go back to that really
crying
second,
so
for a
much
second?
lately, which I never cry. I shocked myself. I'm like, what is happening? I think lately I've been releasing so much grief. So now it's like coming. I talked about even with acting, because I'm like, I have a hard time crying on camera, and it's like because I don't have it in me to cry. And my therapist goes, once you start letting yourself cry in real life, then you can like switch it on. But it's like even in acting, I try to put on this like, I'm not crying, I'm not crying in that scene, So it is funny. Like now it just kind of comes out. I clogged pores.
Yes. No, I'm telling you, I feel this energy, this presence of Kayla, and I'm just like, you're really doing the work. You're really doing the inner work, and it's a really beautiful thing to witness. I love you crying sometimes.
So what are some of the biggest lies that there's a lot of, I hate like people try to say, like we said earlier, like some people just do the wrong things or say the wrong things. They don't mean to, but I hate what some people decide to say right after like someone passes, like time heals all wounds.
Bullshit. I mean, sure. I mean, I guess it heals a little bit.
It can help, but it doesn't ever heal.
It's like I said, it is what, 2009? I don't know math. How many years ago was that? I'm talking about it right now with you guys, and I still cry about it in certain moments or times. But there are times where I talk about my dad and I don't cry. I laugh, we make jokes and all the things, but
the wound is still there.
It's still there. Yeah. It's never going to go away. So no, stop telling people that. Stop it.
What's another one?
Or one that like, at least they lived a long life.
Not long enough.
At least because if they're older, my dad, he was in his 50s, I believe, when he passed, or maybe 60s Oh my gosh, I
But
don't
still,
even
that
know.
does not
Sorry.
comfort you at
But
all.
that is not comforting. I, yeah, it's like I had a friend who passed away at 25 and it's like she didn't get to live a long life, but so does that make his death less
Less
important than
important than
her death?
hers. I
Because it
know.
doesn't, that doesn't make sense to me. Or like, yeah, you should be over it by now. You know, it's been, I think 13 years for me since my dad has passed and it's been what, you were 9 and now
Yeah.
you're 34.
Yeah.
So
You should be over it
you
by
should be
now?
over it by now.
Okay.
And what?
Yeah.
No, I'm never going to be over it. I
No.
mean, I work through it. I've been able to process those emotions and regulate them better, but I'm never going to be over the loss of my dad.
No.
Like,
Or like they'd want you
respectfully,
should be
fuck
strong.
off.
They'd want you to be strong.
Yeah, stay strong. No,
No.
it's
When I die, I hope everyone who loved me is bawling their eyes out.
Right.
I don't want anyone to be strong, okay? I want to see you mourn, okay? I want you like thrashing on the carpet because you miss me so much. Don't be strong. If I see you big strong, I'm like, they didn't even love me.
Yes.
Don't
No,
be strong.
exactly. And I'm like, also some other things that you can say is like, hey, I know you're going through a rough time. If you need somebody to sit with you and just sit and watch trash TV
Yeah.
and not talk, I can do that for you. Or, hey, if you're not eating, because I know I wasn't eating when my dad passed. Hey, if you're not eating, hey, I'm sending you. Well, there wasn't Postmates back then, but now you can just say, hey, I'm sending you a Postmates. Please have a meal. You know, there's other ways to say
We
it.
need to write a booklet of like what to say and what to not say to the family when you go to a funeral. Because people always say like, I mean, I know it's hard.
It's hard.
But I know people say that like you should just study it before you go and
Yes.
just rehearse in the mirror.
Because it's
And
uncomfortable, right? It's super uncomfortable.
It
And it's interesting because I've dealt with a lot of death. I even growing up, I had my abuelita, my grandmother passed away. I had a friend's mom who passed away in the 4th grade, and she was a police officer. So we had the bagpipes and everything. And you're in 4th grade, like, whoa, like this is, you know,
it's
how are we
intense.
supposed to like handle this? So it is one of those things. Like for me, like I said, it's not that death is like necessarily a scary thing. It's just, it is a sad thing. It's always going to be sad. Anything. And like we said,
Loss is
loss and loss is sad.
Yeah.
It's just, but yeah, never go to a funeral and say anything about someone's outfit.
Just
especially
don't do
the
that.
grieving daughter.
Jeez.
That's it.
That person just needs a little slap on the wrist.
You know, and it was like me walking into I will never forget walking into the funeral home that day, not being able to like walk to the casket because we had an open casket. And so my mom and my sister are standing there holding me, literally dragging me up there to go see him. And after I have this moment with him and I'm able to finally stand up there and they're able to like leave me alone with him. And I was able like to have these like last moments with him. You come up to me and talk to me about my outfit. Like I wanted to strangle this person. Till this day, I still look at her and, like she's not in our life, but like social media, she's, you know, Facebook, people pop up and I'm always like, I hate her.
I wonder if she was like trying to figure out what to say and then like that's exactly what came out. So
she thought humor was going to be funny.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, bro, like back up. Just give me a hug and say, I'm sorry for your loss.
I'm here, whatever you need.
Just say, I'm sorry for your loss.
You can't go wrong with that.
Safest thing you could say to somebody is, I am sorry for your loss. Please let me know if you need anything. I'm here.
How do you think grief has changed the way you view like time, relationships, and even like goals like now?
It definitely makes me understand that time is extremely precious and to not hold grudges.
Yeah.
I just, there's not enough time in the world to hold grudges. Like, yes, people move on, people, you know, friendships come and go and things like that. But even just taking each day as such a blessing. And it's hard because I have anxiety. I've been in depressive states before where I don't feel like that day is a blessing. But when I look back on it, I always remind myself that you're alive, your brain works, you're physically pretty healthy, and you have an amazing family and great people around you. So let's go and make those make those trips to go see your family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like call your 89-year-old aunt or your 75-year-old uncle just to say, hey, what's going on? Like, oh, well, did you hear about this in the news? And like pretend like make up a conversation, just give them, because I do think some people, especially like our elders, they feel invisible. I remember my grandpa always said like, oh, it's so sad getting older because you become invisible.
Aww.
So I feel like I never want that for anybody in my life. I want them to feel seen. If they want to feel seen, you know what I mean?
Oh, when I'm old, leave me alone. Leave me alone now.
We're gonna be on the back porch.
But we say forgiveness is important, and I struggle. Like, I was still very angry with my biological mother up until like kind of recently, where I just didn't want to talk to her because I still felt like the older I got, just the more I realized things that I thought could have been preventable. I think it was around the time I got to her age where I was like, oh, like if I was in her shoes, because she had me when she was 33. I'm like, man, like the stuff that she was going through at that time, if I have gone through that at this age, I don't know how I would have handled it. So I let myself start forgiving her because, like, who knows what could happen? Like, who knows, you know, how much longer I'm gonna have with her? She had lung cancer back in the day, so like I don't know what her health is, and I would be devastated if she passed and I still held on to all this anger. And holding on to the anger isn't doing anything to me either. And then I'm missing out on this potential relationship with my biological mother.
Absolutely.
And the same thing with my grandmother. I had issues with her for a few years, didn't speak to her. And I'm like, she's getting older. I know how much she loves me and just wants to be in my life. So I had to, like, in the last few years, just let go. Just like realize I'm never going to get the apology that I want. I'm never going to get probably the explanation that I want, and probably not even get the truth about certain things. But if I have, you know, any interests and letting go, relinquishing that like anger, and then helping them not feel like I'm angry at them, because I know it's been killing them too. It's just letting it go. Like you said, life is short, it's precious, we don't have a lot of time, and is holding on to something worth them leaving this earth forever, you never getting to like have a relationship or talk about it.
I mean, there's things that I wish I could have told my dad and just been honest with him about, but I can't do that like, you know, face to face. So I have changed that part about me with my family. That's why I'm so open, sometimes too open with my family. They're like, Vanessa, we didn't need to know that. But I'm like, yes, you did.
You know everything.
I needed you to know this. And so, yeah, like it's just being honest with them. And even if that honesty is hard.
Work on that.
You know?
Well, instead of the honey jar, we're actually just going to ask a pre-prompted question. We can pretend it's a honey jar question, but just wanted to keep things in the same theme. So, it's funny. I have this thing for if we're still friends, which we will be when I'm 40. The mic is, sorry, 1 second, guys. I want to have a faux funeral, and I want to throw a funeral for myself, and I'm going to be laying in a casket, and I want all my friends to come up and say something really nice about me in the casket. So this is, if my friend, you're listening, listen to this part. So what's something you hope people say about you someday when you're gone? This is a cheat sheet for all of you.
I know what I'm going to say to you.
Wait.
I know what I'm going to say to you.
Do you want to tell me now? You want to wait until you're standing over my casket in 6 years? I'll forget.
You'll forget. No, you're never going to forget.
Never going to forget.
I'm going to look at her and I'm be like, we're going to take 3 cleansing breaths together.
Literally, she would.
And I'm going to hold her with her hand. And she is just going to be able to take them with me because her eyes will be closed.
No, I'm going to be dead. I'm a method actor. I'm not breathing. All right, what do you hope people say about you someday when you're gone?
I hope that they say I brought a lot of light to their life, laughter, honesty, an easygoing friendship, relationship. Yeah, I think that's what I try to do, is like when I walk into a room, if the room feels a little weird or off, like I try to like
liven
pick it up a little. I'm always the one that's going to say, hey, does everyone want to take a shot? You know, like I will be the first one to like break the ice. So I hope that that's what people remember me for, is trying to always, I don't know. I try to do the right thing always, and listen to every side of the story because there's 20
Mhm.
different sides to every story. So I don't know where that twang just came in. I guess
don't know either.
because we're talking about my
real
dad from
silly.
Baton Rouge, I guess. So
No, I think those are all good things to hope to people say.
I guess that's what I would want.
Those
So
are
say
good.
those about me, okay?
Everyone say those about her.
Don't
or
forget.
else, or she'll haunt you in a form of
Oh.
a boo boo.
Oh, and it's gonna be a la boo boo, honey.
Boo.
What about you?
I think I just really try. I hope people just say I was kind. Like, I think I just try really hard to be like just kind to people, and just try to make everyone just feel like seen and understood. 'Cause I think for so much of my life I wasn't seen and understood or like accepted. So I think I just I try to make anyone in a room just feel like they're a part of it and that they're accepted. So I don't know. I think that to me would be like the legacy I'd want to leave.
Yeah.
So, and then I was really funny. And that my ass looked really good in my jeans.
Ooh, yeah. We can't forget about our asses.
You know what? Bury
we
me
both
bottoms
got,
up.
Yeah. We both are, no, not bottoms up, just like to the side.
I want an open casket
like,
and I
like
want
this.
yes.
I want like
Little
shape.
pose.
Give
Yes.
me shape.
Give me curvature in the grave.
And make sure my makeup's done and my hair is
and
done.
I don't mean some
no
makeup. I need top makeup artists to come in there and beat my face to the gods. I'm literally being sent to the gods.
Yes. No, literally.
I'm not walking through those pearly gates looking like,
no,
come
honey.
on.
And if you could just make it so I'm with my pretty smile, just stuck like that.
I want a little
a little smirk.
A smirk. Yeah.
A wink.
Just how creepy would that be?
Just like this.
Give a wink. Oh my God. I'd be trying to put your eye down. Going on. And wax my nose hairs because they get a little long sometimes. So
yeah, make sure I don't have a mustache.
Just give us a full wax down.
We need a whole we need to look fly.
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
And also it's play good music. I don't need this solemn
organ
sad
music.
Shit. My dad, we played Santana. People were so weirded out by the music
really?
we played. We were playing Santana just live. He loved Cubano music.
Yeah.
So we would always we had that going. People were so weirded out. Yeah, it's
no, it should be
it's
a
a
party.
celebration at the end of the day. We're there celebrating life.
I agree. Please cry because if you don't cry, I'll think you didn't love me.
Right.
So just
right.
Bring the little eye drops, whatever you got to do, just so because
I will haunt you if I go first and you do not cry at my funeral. Okay, that is all I'm saying. Okay, this is a PSA.
I promise. I'll cry. All right, guys. A little sign off message. We all know, grief isn't just about death. It's about just change. Letting go of the version of your life you thought you'd have, but it also reminds us how much we can love, how deeply we can feel, and how strong we are when we think we are broken. So if you're grieving anything right now, a person, a place, or even a version of yourself, this one's for you. We see you. We got you. All right. That was great. How do you feel after that episode?
I feel open.
Yeah.
I feel like we just shared a lot.
We did. It's
and I feel
put the toothpaste back in the
I still feel very emotional. I don't know. I'm just proud of us.
Me too.
I'm just proud of us, okay?
Me too.
I think that this is really hard to talk about. And but when we talk about it, we get to feel a little more grounded in it. And that's so freeing.
Yes.
So just free. I feel free.
Good.
And I think that's our word for the episode.
Free.
Just feeling free. And yeah. Get with people that you feel comfortable. I mean, the first time we talked, it was word vomit. And we just opened up and we were oh, wow, we really just opened up about our past and everything. So, just remember, always find those two people that are going to make those ingredients the best in the tea. And I'm lucky enough that I found the other ingredient to my perfectly tasting tea, which is Kayla Becker.
Vanessa, that was a beautiful sign off.
I love
you too. Okay, we're gonna go now.
We're gonna go because I actually need to fall for a second.
We love you guys. Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time.
Maybe less tears.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye. I love you.
I love you too. I know.